affection, a promise. my city. Well, you took me by surprise. A moment of perfection. A
Good afternoon. Welcome to Honeybees. I'm your host, Daye, and this is a show about women's empowerment. So we have a topic each week, and I have a special guest. And my special guest today is Debra Yurinich, and we will be talking with her in just a moment. She's over at the table. And our topic today has something to do with food and cooking. So I'm going to do a song that kind of ties into that, and it's called Sugar Pie Honey Bunch. And you guys sing along if you know it. All right. It's about to start. Or if you want me to do it, I will. Okay, there. Everyone, do your temptation hands. Ooh, sugar pie, honey bunch. Everybody, you know that I love you. I can't help myself. I love you and nobody else. In and out my life. Sorry, I'm out of the picture. You come and you go, leaving just your picture behind. And I've kissed it 1,000 times. You guys want to come be my backup dancers? When you snap your finger, wink your eye, I come running to you. Come on, everyone. Ah, your apron stings, and there's nothing I can do. All right, my backup dancers. Can't help myself. No, I can't help myself. 'Cause sugar pie, honey bunch, weaker than a girl should be. Get in there, Maria. I can't help myself. I'm a fool in love, you see. Wanna tell you I don't love you, tell you that I'm through. And I've tried, but every time I see your face, I get all choked up inside. All right, everybody. When I call your name, boy, it starts a flame burning in my heart, tearing it apart. No matter how I try, my love I cannot hide. Oh, sugar pie, honey bunch, you know that I'm weak for you. I can't help myself. I love you and nobody else. Ooh, sugar pie, honey bunch. Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't help myself. I want you and nobody else. Ooh, sugar pie, honey bunch. You know I love you. Ooh, I can't help myself. No, I can't help myself. Ooh, sugar pie, honey bunch. You know that I love you. Ooh, can't help myself.
And the crowd
Thank
goes
you.
wild.
Yay! Yolanda and Mike, the solid gold. I'll see you over at the couch. Where's Marilyn McCoon? Hello. Hello. Hello, everybody. So as I was saying earlier, welcome to Honeybees at the Art House Theater in historical Las Vegas. We're off of Charleston. It's 3rd and 811 3rd Street, and we're in the 5-star restaurant. And I have a guest today, and I would like to introduce you to Debra Yurinich.
Yep.
And I said it right. Yay! I kept saying it over and over. Thank you for coming today, Debbie.
Thank you for having me.
It's nice to see you. So, Debbie is a very interesting lady. We've known each other for a couple years probably, and we see each other. Debbie likes to enjoys entertainment around Las Vegas, so you'll see her at different shows. She likes to support the arts and has, say you're at the Tuscany, good chance you're going to see Debbie there. And another thing Debbie does is she likes to bake cookies. And do you bake cookies and what
I
else?
bake cookies and fudge and brownies and cake balls and anything that can be easily shared. Pies don't do that.
Pies don't do that.
Pies don't do that. So I can bake a pie, but
you can
I
bake
don't.
a pie. So, well, I bet at home anyway, so today's topic, but I'm going to tell you the topic and then we're going to find out a little bit about Debbie. So we're going to be discussing who is more creative in the kitchen, men or women. So let's talk about you. So Debbie, hello.
Hello.
Hello there. So Debbie, are you from Las Vegas?
I'm originally from Minnesota, raised 4 children outside of Chicago, ended up in New Jersey working for Toys R Us in their corporate headquarters for 8 years, and then out here in Vegas 8 years now.
Okay, and so you came out here with Toys R Us?
No, I actually came out here with the World Market Center.
Oh, the World Market Center.
Yeah.
And now, if my mind doesn't fail me, you are an attorney.
Yes, commercial real estate.
Commercial real estate. So what is that? Tell us a little bit about that.
With Toys R Us, I was responsible for doing the leasing and any negotiations for extensions, expansions, whatever. I would tell people that the first page of Toys R Us lease were all the business terms. The business people took care of that. I took care of the next 32 pages.
Oh, boy.
All of the other pieces that different tenants would want to change, or if Toys was a tenant, different landlords would want to change, because Toys was both a tenant and a landlord, and so it was very much that way. Prior to Toys, I had worked for Metropolitan Life in Chicago, and I'd done agricultural work. I had done major office buildings in Chicago and Boston and New York and LA and Dallas, and lots of fun stuff like that. But I really love retail leasing. I love dealing with the retailers or the landlords, so it's fun.
It seems like, I bet it's for you, you made it very easy for everybody because you're very detail oriented.
Well, that, and I also, nobody wins if only one person wins. Because if I am really tough on you and I get everything I want, and you're my tenant for the next 20 years, you're going to drive my coworkers crazy. You're going to try to get back at me every single time you can because I wasn't fair. So if we're fair and we come to a reasonable decision, and yes, everybody has hot buttons and they have to work around them, but it's let's both get a deal that we can live with.
Wow, and so you have 4 children.
I do.
Grown children. And today's topic, so we kind of chose it together when I invited you to be my guest. And because of your love of baking. Oh wait, before I even continue that, I want to mention that you're very good at doing puzzles. We've got to talk about the puzzles.
We got to talk about the puzzles.
And how did you get into the puzzles? Then I'll go back to that other thought.
I had always done puzzles, and actually when I was at MetLife, we took over a conference room, and at lunchtime, all the paralegals would get together and do puzzles. At World Market Center, all the accountants would have a puzzle table, and like I was in Disney World, I got them a Disney puzzle. So when I'm locked up in a house and I have no live entertainment to go to, it's like, what can I get? What can I do?
Yes.
I can do a puzzle. So I did one, and it was fun, and I posted it. So I did another one. I am currently, since COVID, on my 105th puzzle. Most of them are 1,000 pieces.
1,000 pieces.
Most of them.
And is that a specialty puzzle or is a regular
That's
puzzle?
normal.
It's a normal.
Normal is 350, 500, 750, and 1,000 tend to be. I did try a 1,500. My table wasn't big enough. So I had to move
your table wasn't
No,
big
I had to move it to the kitchen table and add a leaf to get the
A
puzzle.
leaf to the table. So, and
puzzle
you
done.
started doing your puzzles during the pandemic, is that
Yep.
correct?
Yeah.
Is that when you really picked up on the puzzles? Because I would see them on Facebook. You'd
Yeah.
say puzzle number 77 and 78. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God.
Yeah. And then I started because I have a 16 and a 17-year-old cat that had been my daughter's before she went away to college, and I just kept them after she graduated. They like to sit on the puzzle. They're not much
Cute.
help, but every so often there'll be a picture of a cat in the middle of the puzzle.
Oh, that's so cute. I love that.
The one I'm working on right now is actually a puzzle of a cat sitting in a puzzle box with a whole bunch of the pieces around it and another cat batting the puzzle.
Oh,
So
that's adorable.
that you will probably see that Monday.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the latest one coming up, number 106 or
105.
105. I was almost. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So you have 4 children, and now we chose this topic because Debbie has a son who, can you tell the story about that, please?
Yeah. Well, my youngest son has always been very competitive. He's got 2 older brothers and a younger sister. And so he'd been doing something and had to stop it. He was looking for something to compete in. He decided at the ripe old age of 28 to walk into the Virginia State Fair with his arms full of baked goods, and they greet him there and they go, "Well, welcome, Sonny. Are you dropping this off for your mother?" They did not expect a 28-year-old boy to be baking in the Virginia State Fair. Many of the women competing there have been competing longer than he had been alive, much less baking longer than he'd been alive. And so he took first place, gluten-free cookies, best in show gluten-free, and a number of blue ribbons. His first time at a fair. Okay. Yeah, and I can understand why they were really surprised, because Kevin is my 6'6" gentle giant.
Oh, he's just a little guy.
Well, my shortest child is 6'1", and she's a girl. So.
And how tall are you?
I'm only 5'9". I never take off my heels, or they pat me on the head.
So your son, okay,
Yeah.
so this is kind of segueing into our topic for today.
Yeah.
So who is more creative in the kitchen, men or women? So,
There's an answer.
oh, we have an answer.
It
We already
says
have it.
men.
Men. Oh,
Who said men?
who said that?
Scott Blonde.
Scott. Now I wonder why Scott would say that. I'm curious. Maybe you can leave that in the comments and Maria will tell us.
Yeah.
Okay, so your son did the baking.
Yeah.
And what led up to him? Had he shown interest in baking before, or was that
Not-
just like out of the blue? One day he baked gluten-free cookies and entered the contest.
Yeah, part of that was, I think he got hooked on Alton Brown on the Food Network. And he started actually, he binge watched all the shows. Alton had some live shows. He actually flew me out to DC from here to see an Alton Brown show live.
Your son flew
My son-
you out to accompany him to the show. Was
Yeah.
he on the show, or he?
No,
just-
he was just in the
Oh,
audience.
okay.
But he has a picture of Alton signing one of his cookbooks that Kevin had bought, and just really, I think, got interested in both the science and the creativity of baking. It's not like, grilling or making, most food. Baking, if you goof the measurements, you goof the product. So, if you're going to substitute something, you have to be very mindful of what
Yes.
you're doing for substitutions. So it becomes a more creative endeavor.
Yeah.
And so he's been going to the Maryland, the Delaware, and the Virginia State Fairs when they were open, and a bunch of the county fairs on the East Coast. And one day he went to a county fair, and he went in with 10 items. He came home with 9 blue ribbons.
Geez, he must be
He was pissed.
Obviously pissed because
he was
didn't get
pissed
all
because
10.
he didn't get all 10.
He's obviously very, very, very talented and creative, because it is a form of expression. It's a form of creativity. I'm a singer. That's my thing. Sometimes I think I'm funny. I try to do comedy. Not all the time do people laugh. But, we express ourselves. I like to paint. I'm just saying as examples. So, so that kind of is tying in. So I have a couple things written down
Good.
here. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of go one by one. Okay, so I did write some facts down. I'm going to read them off, and then we can speak to what I'm saying. Okay, 77.4% of chefs and head cooks are male. So, and then 43% of American men are cooking these days, the highest percentage in 3 decades. Okay, so, well, you know what? Let's see. Well, do you have anything
Well,
to
the
say
thing
about
is,
that?
okay, how many chefs
Start
are
with
there
that.
in the country compared to how many men? I mean, it's great to say that, most of chefs are men, but I don't know if that leads to say that men are more creative in the kitchen because, you know, if only 43% of men have even started cooking in the kitchen, you've got the women there, or everybody's eating out.
Yes.
So,
So it's kind of, and these are facts from Google.
Yeah.
So 77.4% of the chefs and head cooks are male. These are just kind of facts. And then I Googled, is cooking a man or a woman's job? So, and Google said always considered a woman's job and men are the breadwinners, but now we have had a change. So let's talk about why that is changing. So those were the traditional roles. So, you know, going back to 100 years ago, the woman was home, she gave birth to the children, she made the dinners, she cooked, cleaned, and the husband was a breadwinner. But somehow, things have changed where, well, now in 2021, we're at a point where we're so open and liberated with everything. But I wonder what happened. Are you aware of the time when that change started taking place?
I think the change started taking place more when more women were working outside the home. When my oldest went to kindergarten, there were only 2 other mothers in the kindergarten classroom that worked outside the home.
Oh,
So
okay.
all the other moms were home and running around and stuff, and so why would a guy who's been working all day, slaving away at his desk, because we didn't have computers back then too much, could come home and then cook dinner when wife has been home all day?
That's a
But
very good point you have there.
By the time my 4th child got into kindergarten, I think we had 3 moms that stayed home and the rest of us worked. Not all
Things
full-time,
are
but a lot.
starting to
Things
change.
we're switching, and I come from a long line of women who have always held jobs outside. My great-grandmother, my grandmother, my mother, most of her sisters and stuff, all held jobs outside of the home. So the men in our family stepped up. No, were they responsible for everything? And did I ever see my dad bake a cake? No.
No.
But he was really good with the grill outside, even in the middle of the
Men
winter
are
in
good
Minnesota.
with the grill. That's their thing.
They love it. In fact, I had a waiter the other day ask if I wanted my shot lit on fire. And I go, no.
No.
And he had a nice little fire thing, because guys love fire.
Oh, they love fire.
So before I left, he
yeah.
poured a little bit of the alcohol on the granite bar and lit it on fire.
Oh, he just had to do it.
He had to light it, because guys got to have fire.
Guys, they're from the caveman days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need their fire. Yeah.
So I remember growing up, well, first of all, my father bought a restaurant when I was in my 20s. So he had it for about 15 years. But when I was a little girl, my father owned a restaurant, because I have a memory of being at the restaurant, and I was under 5 years old, and he told me as an adult, that I said to the waitress, "You're giving too much ice cream to that customer." I don't remember saying that, but my father, when we were growing up, he would cook all the time. And I'm not saying my mother wasn't a great cook, but my father, he was just very creative in the kitchen. So when he bought the restaurant, it was a career change, because he'd been the manager of Golden Gate Field's horse racing track.
Oh boy.
And when he left that corporate, or what type of job would that be considered?
Well, that's a corporate job.
Corporate.
Yeah, it's a lot of numbers.
A lot of numbers. And then he went and he owned the restaurant. I'd see him in there, and he was cooking with the other chefs, and he was always very careful, like everything had to be presented right. So he's very creative, so that was his way of expressing it. So, and then my daughter's boyfriend went to Cordon Bleu school, so he's a chef as well, and they met at Whole Foods. But I was just referencing some of the experiences of my own family. So why are so many men cooking? And what it says in Google was, in an era of stagnant wages, making cooking a more affordable option, and also internet access and popular social media, that makes it more fun and easier.
Well, you've also got the HelloFresh and all of the other companies that send you all the ingredients and step-by-step instructions. And my daughter's boyfriend definitely has stepped up a lot more cooking than his father ever did already, because it's interesting, you know, for a lot of guys, it's if you can follow the instructions. Makes it an interesting thing, because you know how guys are in putting together IKEA products. So.
Oh yes, you have to hire someone.
Yeah, but in the kitchen, well, if it blows up with, okay, it's $15 worth of food we can call Uber
Replace
Eats.
it. Call Uber Eats, exactly. What is HelloFresh? Can you?
I don't know, but I believe that it's a subscription service that every so often sends you a box full of ingredients and instructions.
Okay.
And you can tell them, no, someone's allergic to green peppers, or someone doesn't eat coconut, or we're not doing pork in this house, and they will plan that meals around. Sometimes you get to pick your meals on something, because there's like probably half a dozen different companies doing this and shipping basically ice boxes of food to your door.
Oh, that's, yes.
Yeah.
And
so
that's very trendy right now.
very trendy. And
So-
you're going to see a lot of millennials doing that. But when I was growing up, we didn't sort of have that. And I'm in southern Minnesota, the home of the hot dish and or casserole. And my mother's my mother was a great baker as far as great food to eat, and a lot of the recipes I do here are her recipes that I've adapted to different things. I've changed flavor patterns or whatever. But her cooking, I'm not sure you can call it cooking. There is a cookbook out there if you want to go look for it. It's called A Man, a Can, and a Plan.
Oh, I
And
love that.
I think my mother was the inspiration, because of all of her foods, it's a protein, a starch, and a can of Campbell's soup. And that would be
Cream of mushroom.
her chili, that would be her tuna noodle casserole, that would be her spaghetti sauce, that would be her tater tot casserole, you name it. You brown some beef, you throw something down that you can put it over, like her stroganoff, cream and mushroom soup. And yeah, so a man, a can, and a plan. And,
Do you miss her cooking?
for my wedding, she gave me a recipe box with every recipe she'd ever taught me handwritten for me.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I still have the box. I have since then typed them up so I can read them. Her cursive is beautiful, but not when I needed bigger print. So,
Yeah.
so I typed them up and put them in my own recipe book, and I have passed them. I actually passed one of her snickerdoodle recipe on to my son. And he thought, well, I can do better. So he made Kevin's snickerdoodles, and then he made Grandma's snickerdoodles. He took them into his office, because it was before COVID, did a blind taste test. Kevin lost. And he told me he lost. And I said, Kevin, your grandmother copied that out of the Betty Crocker cookbook. You can't beat Betty.
Ah, Betty's good. Betty wins.
Betty won big time.
Betty won. And we're going to talk more about like this specific topic. I was just kind of listing off a couple facts to get us going. Let's see, how many chefs are male? These are just a couple facts. Okay. How many chefs are male? There are 145,000 chefs employed in the U.S. 25.8% are women, and 70.3% are men. And before we take a break here, I'm just going to read the last two. The best, some of the top male chefs are Wolfgang Puck and Gordon Ramsay, to name a few. And the best female chef is Pia Leon. She was the best world chef. She's from Latin America, and that was in 2021. And when we return, we are going to focus in more on who is more creative in the kitchen, men or women. Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back, and we will continue our topic. See you in a few. Thank you.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
As we continue to grow and build a brand, social media shows continue to develop and discover new possibilities to help one another. Our affordable services will help us move to the next level of our journey. Host your own show to inspire or entertain others for as low as $150 per month.
You have 20 shows a week, live stream.
We are looking for sponsors. We showcase your business products and services on our network to be seen by your target market for as low as $200 a month.
That's 2 percentage points short of reaching critical mass, which will lead to faster results. We have 20 plus shows with a reach of over 80,000. We'll give you commercial ads, website link, and connections to nonprofit organizations.
Let us promote and advertise your event, giving your venue the red carpet treatment. This platform allows venues that feature entertainment, singers, bands, DJs, comedy, fashion, corporate events, and family events to be showcased in a new direction that also involves your audiences starts at $200 an hour. We also provides video editing, website builder, commercial video for your business, music videos, photography, provided by our affiliates. As we build our community, we pay it forward. Our nonprofit organization GI Connections is all about giving back to our community. Join us create outreach programs to help our community and live a happy, peaceful, and unity. Let us bring the world to you.
Live streaming on social media is the best new way to interact and bond with your community. Do you love to encourage, motivate, and empower others, but you do not know how? Well, your opportunity starts with us on social media shows. You have 20 shows a week live streamed across the globe, with a reach of over 80,000 and growing. So you can host your own show, and you can be anything you want to be. So let's bring the community together, and let's bring the world to you. Join us now. We've reached the age of live streaming on social media shows. You may ask, we're already ahead of the curve, so why do you need to advertise with us? Well, only 8% of the businesses in the US are using digital advertising to grow their business. That's 2 percentage points short of reaching critical mass, which will lead to faster results. We have 20 plus shows with a reach of over 80,000. We'll give you commercial ads.
Blowing through my city, well, you took me by surprise. A moment of perfection, a promise. Blowing through my city, well, you took me by surprise. A moment of perfection.
Hello and welcome back to Honeybees. I'm your host, Daye, and we are here with my guest, Debra Yurinich, and we are talking about who is more creative in the kitchen, men or women. So we're back for our second half of the show, and before we get into the topic, Debbie brought these cute little stuffed animals. Oh, no, wait, are these twins?
No, I think
Oh,
we have
no,
we have a pink
pig.
apron and a boy.
Oh, and
so
a
that's
boy.
a boy. I love you more than bacon, BACON, and she has a cupcake. She loves you more than baking.
Baking.
On that, and we have
do
a
we have
pig,
here?
we have a little baking pig, and we have a little puppy.
And now, do all of these dance?
They all dance and sing.
Let's turn them on.
Let's try this one.
Where do you do? What you got cooking?
How about cooking something up with me? Now, I think the bacon guy dances a little better.
Whoa, I love him.
So he loves bacon. What guy doesn't? And she taps her foot.
Oh, she's adorable.
And the best one, though, is "You Are the Sweetest." So in my last kitchen, I had a spot above all the counters, and I had them looking down on me as my good luck charms. And when they were up there, I never burned a cookie.
Oh, I love
Can't say that for the brownies, but I never burned a cookie.
They're your guardian cooking angels.
Yes, I have my cooking angels up there.
Oh, so our topic again is who's more creative in the kitchen. So let's kind of dig into this. So, okay, so we're thinking of men and we're thinking of women in the kitchen. I'm trying to think of the difference between a man and a woman. Like is a woman more traditional maybe, and a man?
No, well, I think when you've got your home cooks who are doing it every day, 7 days a week, 3 meals a day, with or without kids and stuff, and you have your chefs who go into their job, they cook, and they go home. There's a difference.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're talking about the home chefs, I think women are more creative just because they're going to go nuts if they're not. How many freaking times can you make that whatever and serve it over and over and over again? They're saying, oh, well, I saw on Good Eats, why don't I try it this way? Or I heard from a friend, or, I got a text, or I looked online, and just try something, tweak it a little bit. And that's what I've been doing with my baking. I've been taking actually a lot of my mother's recipes. I brought some stuff for some friends the other day, and I said, you have something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue, because I made a blueberry fudge.
Oh, that sounds delish. Blueberry fudge.
So I think that I don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. And as we age and as our children aged, our tastes changed too. My daughter decided she was going to be a vegetarian for about 10 minutes till she found out she couldn't have chicken nuggets. But she was 6, give her a break. But
okay.
yeah, but I mean, as the taste changes and what you like and don't like, and do you need a little more of this? But even on the recipes that I've sent my son from his grandmother, one day he calls me and goes, Mom, does this take unsalted butter? And I said, 50 years ago, there was no such thing. So,
yeah.
As the food that we have available to us has changed too.
Yeah.
On that. And even you can actually make really good cookies, oatmeal cookies, with instant oatmeal, the little packages. And because they come flavored, you can make an apple cinnamon oatmeal cookie just with the oatmeal.
Yeah, I've done that. I had a recipe for oatmeal. It was oatmeal, a banana, and chocolate chips. And you just mashed it up. You mashed the banana into the oatmeal, add the chocolate chips. So it was kind of a healthier version. You didn't need the butter, you didn't need the sugar, and then you baked it. It was real chewy and soft, and it was good. So I'm thinking we also have different. I'm thinking of like the millennials. Just the millennials. They grew up in the age of the internet. So on Instagram, I'm not on there much, but I have seen in the past that a lot of people their whole page on Instagram is posting recipes. Then you have your vegan, you have your different people, so they're using Instagram as a way of spreading the word. And so I dated a man a couple of years ago, and we met, and he says, you want to cook together? And he was a vegan. So we went to the store, and he was very creative. So he got this, it was like these flakes that you added water to, and they were some kind of a yeast that was a meat replacement. Okay. So they absorbed the water, and then we made biscuits, and he was making, not biscuits, we made meatballs, I'm sorry. And we made all these different things with that tea texturized protein, TP something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
But you were cooking together.
we
and
were
I think-
cooking together, and he was doing lots of cooking, and
Yeah.
and
Well,
I
that's
thought,
what more millennials are doing, like with the Hello Fresh. I think they're cooking together.
Yes.
They both come home from the job, or
Yeah.
these days they turn off the computer and come out of their separate offices
Yeah.
where they've been, online for 8 hours, and they're
Yeah.
cooking together.
yes, they do
And,
that.
Yeah, and
And
then
it's all it's easy. They don't have to go gather the ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
But
you've got the Food Network. Did we have the Food Network?
no, we
growing up?
did not.
No.
And shows like the Chew,
Yeah.
where they would have, and the chefs here, and I was amazed because they are very creative.
Yeah.
They have ideas, and they tweak traditional recipes and just add
Yeah.
like a new flair to it.
We had the Galloping Gourmet.
The Galloping Gourmet, and also Julia Child.
Yes.
Is that how she talks? She
Yep.
kind of had a voice like this.
No, she's an inspiration if you want to cook with wine.
She loved wine.
She loved her
They had the
wine.
good movie about her. Was
Yes,
it
they did.
Meryl Streep that played
I think
Julia?
so. I
Julia?
think so.
Julia
Julia.
Child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And Rachel Ray.
Yes, and you've got, like in this town, Giada has her own restaurant. I think she's the only female chef with a restaurant where we've got something for Puck and we have something for all sorts of other people in town. Michael Simon had a great little barbecue restaurant over at the Palms. I got to meet him there one night, and that was very thrilling.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Never heard of him. So
Oh,
could
it's-
you tell us who he is?
He's just one of the chefs that does a lot of different shows, contests and other things too. On that. And it's always fun to watch the chefs compete against each other
Yeah.
and see they have to be a little more creative that way. Or the Can You Beat Bobby Flay? That's also one where the younger chefs compete against Bobby
Can
to
you
see.
beat Bobby?
Yeah,
that's
that's-
is
Beat
that
Bobby
on?
Flay. That's on Food Network.
Yeah, you have that. You've got the gentleman with the spiked hair. He's got like a bleached. I don't remember.
Diners, drive-ins, and dives.
He goes around and
Yep.
and he tastes it, and you always watch him when he's eating it, and he'll take a bite, and sometimes he looks almost like
Guy
he doesn't
Fieri.
like it, and he's like,
Yeah.
"This is so delicious." But they are.
We have at least 13 guys, diners, drive-ins, and dives in Vegas, and I've been to 11 of them.
Oh,
So when my cooking kid came out, he would only eat at diners, drive-ins, and dives. So I said,
and that's his restaurant, Guy.
Guy Fieri. It's not his restaurant; it's his TV show, and
It's his show.
these are restaurants in town that have been on the show.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay, so your son, who is a baker, is he still doing the contests?
they did not have most of the contests this year because of COVID. They
COVID.
were doing the Virginia one last week. He opted not to try to do that because he's still working from home and he doesn't have anyone to taste test. Before, he could use his office, bake up a bunch of stuff, take in
Yeah.
the office, see what they like, what they don't like, what their comments are.
Yeah.
Well, during COVID, his wife was diagnosed as celiac. So although she can test his
What is that?
gluten-free.
Gluten-free.
So she's gluten-free now, and she's luckily married to someone who has won a ton of awards for gluten-free cooking.
Oh, perfect.
But he doesn't want to just do that, and he certainly doesn't want to just feed her, so he opted to stay out of it. Plus, in his frequent, all of his copious free time, he's a Ghost and Graveyard tour host in Alexandria.
Graveyard ghost.
Ghost,
oh,
yeah,
boy,
he
he's
drops.
busy.
Yeah, he dresses up like Paul Revere and takes 8th graders on tours.
Oh my God.
So-
Creative. Very creative outlet and interesting.
Yeah, so he can, and they get to see. But the fact that we have a lot more available to us. I mean, I can say, oh, I want to make carrot brownies. I can go on the internet and I can look up carrot brownies, and I can find 5 recipes. I can print them all out. I can say, okay, I like that. I want that spice, and I can create
Yeah.
my own out of things that I've seen.
And do you? So you
I do.
you add different things. So you have that flair of creativity, and there are some people who like to just do the basics, like you said earlier. We'll have a starch, we'll have a protein, and we'll have a
Something wet.
something. Yeah, something
A
wet.
can of soup.
A can of soup. But Yeah, and you have my. I'm a mother of 2 daughters, and my daughter said, "Mom, sometimes if I call her, she'll say, 'Oh, I'm in the middle of making dinner,' and then she said, 'Why didn't you ever teach us how to cook?' And I said, 'I did cook every day. I just was never a big recipe person. You know, I'd make chili or I'd make bake muffins all the time, or make chicken and soup. But so she is the offspring of someone who was not that creative, but she's very creative. She downloads recipes and she makes them. But I wonder what men. It's all types of men that are creative. They could be anywhere from an accountant to a bartender. It's just something in them where it's they enjoy cooking. And
Well, I asked my bartender last night if he could make a specific drink that I had heard of, and he goes, "No, but I'll look it up, and the next time you're here, we'll try it."
Oh, very nice.
You know, and I know there are 3 or 4 different versions of what I asked for online.
what is it? Do you mind?
It's
telling me?
actually a Fireball margarita.
Fireball. That's the
The
shot.
cinnamon, yeah,
the
it's
cinnamon.
the hot cinnamon shot, the whiskey.
Oh.
And he's going, whiskey and tequila. So,
You might have to take an Uber home after you have that one. You know.
there have been a couple of chain restaurants that have done them in short term, but I'm kind of interested on what take he has, because he and I have been working on a couple other just fun shots. Because you can take Fireball and rum chata and vanilla vodka and make cinnamon toast crunch.
Oh my God.
It's a drink. It's called cinnamon toast crunch. I took it. I made it into a cake.
And you made it into a cake?
I made it into a cinnamon toast crunch cake, and then I made the cakes into cake balls and gave them to my friends.
Oh my goodness.
So-
Oh wow. So we're getting towards the end of the show. We have about 7 minutes left. So we're gonna. So is there anything you want to add to the topic of our men? Who is more creative in the kitchen, man or woman?
Well, I think there are still more women in the kitchen. Now, are they being creative, or are they just opening a pack of manwich, a can of manwich and pouring it out, or
it on a
slathering some
bun.
peanut butter and jelly on a sandwich and saying, "Here, kid."
Here,
and
here's
a lot
your
of-
creative dinner. Take that.
Yeah, that. And I think we now have the ability for both sides to start expressing themselves. That you can find recipes that you want to try, you can get into HelloFresh and then say, "Oh, well that was good, but it was missing something. What if we get it again and we add some garlic, or we
See,
add..."
but that's what you do. A lot of people wouldn't even be able to do that. They
But-
don't
but
even
I-
know
but I
how
think- but I
to
think- I
go
think
out
they
of the
are.
box.
Well, I think we
Quote,
also
unquote.
have, so many great restaurants, especially in Vegas, but other places that people are trying now with Uber Eats and other things,
Yeah.
that they're getting, their taste palettes are changing
Yeah.
from whatever peanut butter and jelly they ate all the way through
They don't have
college.
to leave. They just bring-
Macaroni and cheese out of the blue box. Yeah, I'm guilty of feeding my children that.
With
I
a
worked
stick
full
of
time.
butter. Oh, how healthy! But it
Yeah.
tastes like the best thing ever.
Oh yeah, that. And it was just, I think that especially when you get the younger couples cooking together, or roommates cooking together, because more people are sharing homes now, you find that one person is going to say, "Well, but I it's missing something," someone else, and you start feeding off of each other. So I think the creativity level is going to go through the roof, and it's going to be both men and women. It's going to be a lot dependent too on, hey, we've got a lot of people working from home now, which is giving them a ton of extra time to play in the kitchen. I don't have a 1 hour and a half commute one way and a 1 hour and a half commute the other way home.
Yeah.
I've got 3 hours a day given to my life. And like my daughter's company, they do 4 10-hour days. They've got a three-day weekend, more or less.
My
on
daughter
that.
too, as well. She
Yeah,
does.
and you could do that. Even back when I was with Toys R Us, you could work an extra hour Monday through Thursday in the summer and leave at noon on Fridays. And
That's
get
a
an
great
extra.
option to have.
Oh yeah, and I was driving from
Yeah.
New Jersey to DC most weekends, and to miss all the traffic by leaving
Yeah.
at noon.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and get down there. But I think as the creativity of the master chefs and the shows that you can see continues to expand, you're going to get both men and women out there. But I think the women are creative out of necessity. The men are creative out of, I want to say, pride. Pride. It's a contest for them.
Yeah.
They want to compete.
And they do, yes. And staying home, as we all did for that, it seemed like about a year almost, I think, and everyone, not being able to go to restaurants because they were, first of all, just doing delivery, then you only had the 25% and the 35% occupancy in the restaurant. I do believe that during that time, the big event was to get all covered up and go to the grocery store, was a time for people to start experimenting more at home with, now we're here, let's try to get a little more creative. So I bet there are a lot of men that didn't even know that they could cook, that were probably learning, but you have to feel confident to add something, because people love the chocolate chip cookies. There's so many different recipes, and I wonder what could be different. It's just a chocolate chip cookie, but then you have Mrs. Fields, and then you have all the all the different, and then you have Debbie right here who makes your whole container of cookies, and Sheila Cooper.
Oh, Sheila too, yes.
You're the two cookie ladies.
Yeah, that we do this stuff and share it with people, because I certainly don't need, I'm having fun making it, I don't need to eat it all. No. So I will be leaving here and feeding some bartenders down the street.
What are you feeding them? What are you feeding them? Cookies?
No, today they are getting peanut butter candy and a razzmatazz raspberry liqueur chocolate cake balls. And they are getting a carrot cake cookie bar.
Carrot cake
cookie bar. Yeah.
Oh my God, you're so amazing. So when you walk in the door, they must have a seat ready for you, and they must have it all set up with your name.
I walk into one bar and they go, "Sugar Mama's here."
They call you Sugar Mama.
They have a whole bunch of new young kids, and I'm Sugar Mama. And actually, my favorite two bartenders will not be there tonight. And I said, I will not skip the kids. I will make sure they get some goodies tonight.
Oh, wow.
That after they had to put up with a very long Monday night football game. So.
Oh, no, that's not good.
So we'll feed them tonight.
Yeah. So how are we doing on time, Maria? Producer Maria? We have 2 minutes. Okay, well, I want to take this time to thank you so much for coming on. Did you have a good time?
I had a great time. I wish you'd take this time to sing another song. I love listening to you.
I should do another song. Is that okay with you?
Can you go?
What do you want to hear?
Whatever you can put up in 2 minutes.
All right. Well, why don't we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me do. And then thank you. Any last words that you want to say? Anything to the viewers?
I think that it's
you do that while I'm getting up.
Yeah, I think that this is a topic that's not going to go away. And I think men and women might start competing more against each other. Maybe my son won't be one of the few males that show up at a local state fair. Maybe more guys are going to say, hey, I learned to do this during COVID. Let's go see if I can win. I mean, one place you get a whole $5 for winning. Yeah, but hey, it's the bragging rights. He has an entire wall of ribbons. So that's what you want to have.
Thank you so much, Deborah. And I'm going to do one last song just for Deborah. And this one is called God Bless the USA. I always think of Billy Fisher when I hear this. Where's the camera?
I missed him yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I wish I was taking the little kitty cat. If tomorrow all the things are gone I've worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my life, I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. Sing along! I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand
defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, from New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, everybody sing along! I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause Mike, come on down, I love this land. God bless the U.S. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land, love this land. I bless the USA. Thank you. I'm Dana Daye. See you next week on Wednesday from the Honeybees. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Mike, Yolanda, and have a wonderful day. Juanita, did I say Yolanda? Yeah, that's it. Juanita. I knew that. I was just seeing what you guys would do. No, I'm kidding. And Maria, of course. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day. And Greg.